Hi, this is kind of an in-between post. I have mentioned in the community section that I've been out on a few appointments over the last few weeks, and those have been for my mum. And she hasn't been feeling well. She hasn't been feeling well for a while. Things are going wrong. And, now I live with my mum, and it used to be me, my mom, and my dad. And so I'm here, and I do as much as I can. We're still a team, and we still go, and I go with her to her appointments and help with the understanding. My mom is in her middle 80s, and so things can move too fast. And it's something that healthcare professionals and most people, even in stores, any kind of a service thing, need to understand is not that you need to speak slowly, but you just need to take your time in a conversation and explain things, and then sort of go, do you have any questions? You know, things like that. Because when you are older, you just don't take things in quite as quickly. And it's nice to be able to stop and ask questions and maybe get some clarification on things that you needed before. It's also why it's a good idea, if it's possible, to have somebody with you so that you can sort of double check what you heard and what that meant and all of those kinds of things. Well, okay. So we've been going, and finally, after a really, really long time, and it's been longer than we've been here in Elliott Lake, but there are some tests scheduled that she's needed for a really long time to see if there's anything wrong. Now, they did blood tests, 8 vials of blood, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with her blood, but something's wrong. You don't be ghostly white, and you don't have a cough, and you don't have one eye that goes wonky over the other, and memory issues, and feeling tired all the time, and gait issues, and if everything is absolutely fine. And finally they're going to look at this, and all of that's great. But some of it is out of town. And we don't have a vehicle anymore. It kind of bit the dust, and that's the way she goes. And there's not a car rental in town as far as I am aware, or of the few people that I've asked. I'm not aware of it either. So could potentially get someone to drive her to where she has to go. She has to go to Espanola. And it's about an hour and a half, depending on how you drive. And that would be okay, because she would use the Northern Ontario grant and just sign it over. But the problem being is that they don't go in with you, and they don't ask questions, and they don't, talk it over with you. Which, in addition to needing that just on a regular basis, you're going for these tests that you've been waiting for. And now you're going to go. So there's an anticipation there, and a real sort of, I got to do this, and I got to have it, I've got to remember, and I've got to be, that it would be very helpful to have somebody there for. And that's not going to happen on this type of thing. And the problem with having somebody drive is that I can't get into a regular car. I am physically unable to do it, unless I can, if I can get myself down low enough, and it's a problem, okay, so I have to get way down low and stuff, and then I basically lay across the entire width of the car on the seat, and work my way until I'm almost on the other side but still flat, and then I can bring my legs in, because if I'm in a seated position I can't move my legs that way. I also have a lot of skin breakages at this point, and so it's very painful to wear shoes and walk. But that's the way that it goes. Now, the other way we could do it is, and I will do it that way if that is what is decided on, is we can take a cab, and there is a flat rate from Elliott Lake to Espanola of just slightly under $140. But again, I've got to find out about getting back, because either it's going to be paying part or all of the trip back out for a cab to come out to Espanola and then bring us back and pay that at another $140, or I have to get a cab from Espanola and I then have to find out about, again, getting them back, whether or not there's going to be anything entailed in that. I will do it. That isn't an issue. That's my mom, and there's no answer that is optional to I will do it. So she's feeling very alone, and you don't need to get her to tell you that to see it. She's not sleeping now because she doesn't know how this is going to work, and she's worried because one of the tests is going to involve anesthetic, and she has read an awful lot about anesthetic and its use in older people and people with less than optimal health, and so she's worried about that. And she did ask family if they had the time to come out here and help out and maybe take her and be able to listen to things, and the answer was no. And it was couched well within things like, I don't have any more vacation time, and I have other things going on, and then there's a house being sold, and the potential for surgery to be scheduled, and things like that. And yep, I get it. Everybody has lives, and then I get to listen to my mom say, oh, I hate bothering people. I really hate bothering people. And then start to cry and say, because it's obvious we all know where I'm going anyway. And I mean, after many conversations with her, know that she believes that she has cancer, and that she is going to die. And there's been a lot of conversation about this over time. But one of the things that I do know from watching my dad go through it when we took care of Dad is the human body and the human spirit are remarkable things. And they fight for a really, really, really long time. And when you think that it can't get any worse, it can. Now, she feels lonely being here with just me, and she isn't mad at me, and she isn't, any of those things for like not being able to get into a lower car or anything else like that. But she shouldn't have to be lonely with just me here, and there should be more. There should be a PSW, or there should be something. There should be family. And then there's a loneliness, I think, too, that we share, she and I, in being disabled and not being able to be self-sufficient in so many ways, and you feel like you are useless. It's not a good feeling. Talking to the nurse practitioner, well, Leon, is there any way you can go and you just sort of, you go like, because I should be able to fix this, and I want to fix this, and I don't know how I'm going to start doing it, or what I'm going to do, or anything else, and it isn't good enough, and it's a very lonely feeling. It's like you're out there all on your own. And I don't want my mom to have to feel like she's putting people out, because she's not doing that to me. But I'd like to really know why we don't give a shit anymore. Why we have allowed ourselves, everyone can say, well, it's the government, and well, it's this, and well, it's that, and that is just bullshit. Sorry. It's because the government doesn't mandate whether you care or not. Isn't it right? And it shouldn't be this way. And if you knew how great of a person my Ma is, you would wonder why. I'll come up with something. One way or the other, I'll come up with something. And then she can decide from there what she wants to do. And she is actually considering not doing any of it because it's too much trouble. But we'll see.